Matt, are you surprised by any of this data that we're seeing now?
God, no. I think, Kennedy, you and I don't want to speak too much to you, but I think we saw teenagers' brains become misshapen in real time over a couple of years there. I'm so happy and gratified that these studies are coming out and that people like you are popularizing them, because we need to keep telling us this story. There's a study that came out just this week from the UK, really comprehensive, that studied something that people were denying until recently, which is that, tell you what, masking kids, especially when they're young, is really not so great for their learning acquisition of language and other things like that. Stuff that was obvious, but there hadn't been studies done, and people like Randy Weingarten, whose picture you showed earlier, look for every reason to try to deny or to downplay in America, where we closed more schools than any other rich country in the world because of the way that our schools are organized and because of the power the teachers' unions have. So no, none of this is surprising. It's outrageous, and we should never let those people forget who did this. It's not just the American Association of Pediatrics. Rochelle Walensky, in the middle of 2020, said open the schools, but then when she got power in the CDC, she's like, yeah, I'm not so sure. Let's have the stakeholder
then she wasn't
come
speaking
let's have these stakeholders, you know, the ones who donate to Democrat campaigns. Let's give them a say. Should the government really be involved in this issue?
I don't think so. You look at, I mean, we do have a Railway Act from 1926, which makes it more difficult for rail workers to strike because it's kind of an important job. You don't want the whole country to go down. So you have to jump through all these hoops to get to the point where you're going to strike. They were jumping through those hoops. Why is the federal government getting in the middle of a collective bargaining agreement of private sector unions and private sector companies? I don't think that they should. And yes, you're right. This is going to bite Joe Biden. He was supposed to be the most pro-labor president since FDR. Unions absolutely threw a huge party on the one-year anniversary of his presidency and talked about how great he was. They're not going to anymore because of this. But we shouldn't have the federal government getting into the nitty-gritty of sick leave of union workers. It doesn't make any sense to me.